Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be cutting down a tree. In between the cottage and the bunkie we have a poplar tree that's about 45-50 feet tall. I want to take it down because the longer I leave it, the more difficult it is going to be to take down. So I'm going to show you guys a few tricks I do when cutting a tree. A really safe, easy way to cut trees down. As you can see, this is a pretty tight drop zone, but you can follow the same principles if you ever cut down a tree. Show you a trick to determine the height, how tall a tree is and where it's going to fall. I've got a level here and it's got a 45-degree bubble. So when the bubble is in the middle, that means we have a right angle. The length is equal to the height. So if I stand here and I hold this level and I look at the top of the tree, when the bubble is in the middle, that's the height of it. So if you have to move forward to get the bubble in the middle or move back, just find the spot, and when that bubble's in the middle, you know exactly how tall the tree is. Okay, I'm going to show you an example of how tall this tree is. So right there, we've got the bubble in the middle. I'm looking at the top of the tree. So right here, since I'm looking at about 6 feet up, the tree is technically going to fall 6 feet back, but this is right approximately where the tree is going to fall, right in line with this rock. So we'll see once we cut it down. Anytime you cut down a tree, it's a really good thing to have a rope in it up high so that you can help guide it in the direction you want. So I've got a string line, this is masonry line, and a little bean bag. I'm going to throw this, hopefully hook it on the branch, and then I can use this to tie my thicker rope onto, and we can guide the tree with this rope. So I'll show you how this works here. Okay, so if you guys can see that, I got this around the branch, which is perfect. I'm going to take the string line, wrap it around the back side of the tree, and then I've got the bottom. I'm going to tie this onto my proper rope that I want to hoist up there. So to tie this, I'm just going to do a simple granny knot, nothing too fancy. I'm going to double it up, and then I can hoist this up into the tree. And I'm hoisting it with the string line. So as you can see, okay, so I've got my string line back down. Now I want to form a loop in this so that we can connect the rope together. So this is called a bite. I have a hoop. I'm going to take the bite and I'm going to cross it over, back through and around. I'm forming a figure 8. So if you look at this, that looks like a figure 8. So simply form an 8, and I have a loop that I can use, and I can run the rope through. So I'll show you what this is going to do. The figure 8 on a bite is a really good knot. It's easy to untie and it's secure. So I put the end of the rope through that loop. Now I'm just going to pull all this rope through. Okay, so I've got the rope pulled through the loop. Now we are just going to pull this up into the tree. Okay, so just like that, we've got the rope nice and high up in the tree. We'll walk this back in the direction we want it to land, and we're going to have somebody pulling it. All right, everybody, so this tree is leaning in the direction we want it to go. We also have the rope on it. Whenever you're following a tree, you want to cut your face cut, which is a wedge cut in the direction you want it to go. So about 1/3 of the depth, we're going to come in, cut a wedge, and then we're going to do our back cut, and we're going to follow it right down there. So make sure you have enough gas in your chainsaw to finish the cut.
When you're making this wedge cut, I can't stress the importance that you need to make this in the direction you want the tree to fall, because this is what's going to guide it to fall in that specific direction. There's a lot of good videos on YouTube showing how to make these cuts. You should reference one before trying it.
Okay, so if you come look at this, we have a nice face cut in the direction we want it to go, which is straight down here. Now I'm going to work my back cut. You don't want to cut all the way through. You want to leave about 10% of the tree as holding wood. So we're going to leave that, and this tree should get pulled over with the assistance of the person on the rope. Bingo. As you can see, the tree's down. It fell right where we wanted it to. Pretty much the exact length that we measured, because the actual top of the tree broke off. So the tree was roughly this long, and if you look at how I cut it, I left about 3 feet of the tree still in the ground. So if I would have cut it right at the base, my measurement would have been spot on there for the length, but it fell exactly where we wanted, and that's the technique you can use anytime you're dropping a tree. The best technique is to have someone with a rope, get the rope up as high as you can. That way you can use leverage to guide it. Get your face cut in there with the wedge in the direction, and then do your back cut. Just make sure you don't cut through that holding wood, and it should fall exactly where you want, like this one did here.